All right, about that time again. Welcome back to another episode of the Nosebleed section. I'm your host, and this week I am Fabian Moreau for president. I'm joined by Michael Voorhees because this guy, like everybody else, has been watching the latest Halloween movie, and he's been telling me and everybody's been saying how bad it
The movie
is.
sucks.
There you go. There you go. Well, what didn't suck was the Giants winning again this past Sunday. This guy's got the whole outfit. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, Giants, as you see in the episode, it's the title. They are 6-1, beat the Jaguars. Uh, again, another game of adjustments, first and second half. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into some injury news. We're gonna get into some trade rumors before the deadline hits, and we'll do a little preview into next week. They're going into Seattle, and we'll talk about that. But again, we'll talk about the things we liked and didn't like first. So I'll open up the floor to you, Michael. What did you like and did and not like about the game?
Well, first and foremost, you thought I was done, but I had another pair of socks that I
Okay,
had to show
okay,
up.
okay.
All right, yo. So first and foremost, um, what I liked was the absolute just will to win that you saw from Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. All right. Now, granted, moving from the first half to the second half, and the performance that you see in the second half, it's a lot more evident because you had the first drive that we went and scored on. Beautiful. Absolutely perfectly scripted. And unfortunately, it gave me a little bit of PTSD because it really harkened back to those times when Kevin Gilbride would script an amazing start to the game. And then the entire thing would just fall apart right after that. It kind of sort of looked like that for the most part. You know, you had the big Slayton touchdown. It was like 32-yard pass and everything like that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, this kid is actually starting to get his act together. He's finally starting to be Darius Slayton from 2019 that we're seeing again. Then we started having the drops and all kinds of other stuff. Like, so the first half wasn't necessarily the best. And then you had Saquon ended up, you had, I think, like -1 or -2 yards rushing after the
I think
first
you had like
quarter.
-2 at halftime, something like that.
At half, it was ridiculous. Like, so there was a lot of stuff that was working against us in this game, and then you turn around, you got all of the injuries. You got the injury to Bredesen, you got the injury to Evan Neal, and you got the absolute freak injury to Daniel Bellinger. All of this stuff, but once again, next man up. This team is the epitome of next man up, and it just keeps showing like that with guys like Josh Azudu, Tyree Phillips, I believe his name is, the right tackle that came in, and then guys like, Tanner Hudson and Chris Myrick that came in and actually filled in for Bellinger, who Bellinger honestly is probably Daniel Jones's like most reliable receiver. So they had these guys step up and actually, kind of sort of not to the absolute maximum, but be able to pick up some of the load so that he's like Jones isn't out there with basically nobody. It's commendable. It is absolutely commendable. And like I want to say something positive about the defense, but defense honestly was not good on Sunday. Um, but if I can take a positive out of it, that was probably their worst performance, and they still only gave up 17 points. So they're doing something right.
Um, I mean, yeah, for me, the main thing was like you said, the whole thing with Saquon just not being able to get going in the first half, like having, I believe what I believe I did see it was maybe 4 or 5 rushes for like -2 yards at one point. Like the guy again, the second half adjustment that they can make that can turn it around like in a blink of an eye, and he ends up the game with 100 yards rushing. Jones has 100 yards rushing, 200 yards passing, and like the thing that stands out for me that I heard that was crazy was they didn't like we don't have a receiver with over 200 yards receiving. on the year. Not one of our receivers has over 200 yards receiving,
Nope.
and we're 6-1. You can't blame Daniel Jones for that. You can't blame Daniel Jones for not. Like, he's getting the ball to people. They're just not catching it. Like legit,
Mm-hmm.
not catching it. And I mean, that's something we're gonna get into too, as far as like uh, what we possibly should do moving forward, as far as the trade rumors that are coming out and everything else. That I know we were talking about this a little before we started, just as
Mm-hmm.
far as like people that are out there that could possibly go help Daniel. So we'll talk about that in a second. The injuries, unfortunately, like Evan Neal going down, that was tough. And I read what was it? It was a grade 2 MCL strain. It's going to put him out
Right.
anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. I know we're going into Seattle next week, and I know he'll be down. So I know that like, they're talking about Tyree Phillips. They signed Corey Cunningham again, and they're still looking at Matt Pert. So I don't know between the three of them, Phillips probably is gonna I guess get the start because I think he came in for relief and played decently well.
Yeah.
Um, like you said, the Bellinger injury, that sucks. He has to get surgery on his eye socket, so he's
Yeah.
out indefinitely. They said at least about 6 weeks, if not more.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, I know we brought in Myarick. He came in. He's the third guy, and then we actually signed the guy Andre Miller that we had back in the offseason,
Right.
who was doing really well for us and lighting up until he believed he broke his wrist or broke his arm or something like that. And he was
Mm-hmm.
placed on injury, and then he got released. So um, it's just crazy. Like Joe Anthony, uh, I was used to his comment, but it's true. It just Joe Anthony said, just think it's funny how they talk about trading Saquon, and
No, no, I
it
saw
is,
it. I saw it.
yeah.
I was just waiting until we got onto the trading part to actually
Oh,
bring
oh
it up.
yeah,
But
I mean,
yeah.
we could. I mean, we can talk about it. Like I said, you covered most of the basics of the game. Offensively, it just comes down to getting Daniel Jones help and getting somebody or some pieces in there that are actually going to help him. Like Slayton, like, is just inconsistent, like you've been saying, and he'll have great moments, and he'll flash great moments, and he'll flash terrible moments, and
Mm-hmm.
he'll make you like happy, and then he'll want you to like choke him out, like. And then after that, I mean, again, you got Wandale. Wandale's a rookie still coming into it. They just David Sills can't create any separation. So it's tough. He's a straight possession wide receiver. And like you
Mm-hmm.
said, defensively, the main thing I was seeing a lot of was, I mean, Thibodeau was having himself a game, but Thibodeau was just was getting held for his life,
Yep.
and they couldn't give us. We were getting a call. Um, One thing I was actually interested to see was how Trevon Walker was going to do against Thomas. Andrew Thomas locked him up, and I liked seeing
Mm-hmm.
that. Um, Another one, Bredesen. Bredesen went down in the game, and he's hurt too. I know Zudu stepped in, and I think he filled the gap pretty decently there. And then I mean, other than that, I mean, there wasn't really a move to make there. I mean, there's obviously the big move that came in that we'll talk about too. Somebody coming off the pup list and being active on the 53
I'm
man
it.
again. That's oh yeah. Before like so before we get into that, I just wanted to say along with the injuries, like going forward, I know we have Seattle this week coming up. Um, what are your thoughts on the Seattle game? Because again, we're going to Seattle. I mean, the last time we went there, we had freaking Colt McCoy as our starting quarterback, and he wouldn't won us the game. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on the Seattle? Again, we opened up, I believe it's 2.5 or 3.5 point underdogs again
Which
this
honestly,
Sunday.
to me, isn't nearly as bad as when we opened up at like 3.5 point underdogs to Jacksonville. Um,
Not at all.
as I was saying before, home team automatically gets 3 points. So technically, if we opened as 2.5 point underdogs, that means we're favored by a point, by half a point. So the thing is, they're looking at this game, and this game honestly, unfortunately, got a lot tougher than I thought it would. Than I thought it would be a couple of weeks ago. Um, in part due to the injuries, and also in part to Geno Smith playing out of his mind recently. Um,
Yo,
Kenneth
that
Walker,
part is just crazy.
yeah. As of right now, Somebody was saying it earlier. I believe it was Mike Greenberg from ESPN was saying that like right this second, if the season ended and you were talking about actually playing a Pro Bowl game, Geno Smith would be starting for the NFC. Like
Yo, but he's
legitimately.
balling right now, so you can't be mad at it. Like
No,
he's
no, it's not
killing
even so
right
much.
now.
It's not even so much being mad at it. It's just absolute shock and surprise. The guy
Yeah,
has a quarterback rating right now over 100. Like it's
yo,
ridiculous.
like we were sitting here talking about like, oh, Seattle's definitely gonna be bad without Russ. They're gonna tank the season and go in and get a CJ Stroud or a Bryce Young.
Mm-hmm.
Like now, I don't know. Like, and they're outplaying it. Obviously, I don't know if they're gonna keep this momentum going, but they're definitely outplaying those spots because both those guys are going top five. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're sitting here at 6-1, I believe they are also. So it's
They're
like,
4-3.
oh, who Seattle?
Yeah, they're 4-3.
Oh well, shoot, they're still outplaying them. Like they're
Mm-hmm.
still outplaying the spot unless these guys guarantee themselves a top five pick. I don't think they're gonna get either one of them. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but again, nobody saw this coming from Gino.
No,
Nobody. Like everybody thought these guys were going to be like a 0-17 team, a 1-16 team, something like that. And they're holding. They're not only keeping up with the rest of the NFC West. They're like, I don't think they're leading it,
they are
but
leading.
they're leading the NFC
Yep.
West.
Mm-hmm.
Sheesh. I didn't know they were leading it, but I knew they were at least second place. I didn't know they were
No,
leading it.
they're leading it because the
Oh my
Rams right now
gosh.
are crap. The 49ers they're kind of sort of hanging around there, and the Cardinals the Cardinals are probably going to overtake that division soon because they got Hopkins back and they just trade for
Yeah.
somebody. So like that was Robbie Anderson, correct? That they just traded for.
Yes. Yes. I want
Yeah.
to say yes.
So yeah, they're probably going to take the division over eventually, but Seattle's not going to give it up. They're not going to give it up without a fight. Um,
No.
so like I think if I remember correctly, Geno Smith is over 73% as far as his completion percentage. He's being very, very efficient with the ball. So like I said, we're looking at somebody who's out there with a chip on his shoulder. He's got something to prove and he
I
has a
mean,
running game with him with Kenneth
they're
Walker.
playing complementary football too.
Mm-hmm,
Like Kenneth Walker was running wild last week. Rashad Penny was running wild before he got injured. Like
mm-hmm.
it's not just they're not just sitting back throwing 45 times a game. Like they're
Nah,
playing like
they're
and their
they're
and their O line's actually doing decent. And I didn't think that was going to be a thing either. Their O line since Russell Wilson was there, their offensive line has not been that good. Like
nah.
and their offensive line's actually holding up too, which is another shocker to me.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's good. The other thing, like I said, the one thing as far as their offense goes that works out in our favor is the fact that DK Metcalf should not be playing Sunday. That still leaves Tyler Lockett out there, who is a problem in and of itself. But considering the fact that you don't have to worry about, Hercules out there running as a number two up against Fabian Moreau or whoever else is out there, possibly up against Darnay Holmes or whatever. Like,
I love Darnay, but like
like on the real, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to change his name to Darnay Holds soon because
yo,
that's literally all he does.
he
Um,
kills me.
but like I said, that from the offensive standpoint, well, for Seattle's offense. But when it comes to the us against their defense, I'm not really too concerned about it. Like people say this stat is a bit misleading, but if you think about it and you actually go look, Seattle's what ranked 30th? They're definitely bottom 5, bottom 6 in the NFL when it comes to total defense.
Yeah.
So like both their run defense and their pass defense is like probably the bottom third, bottom quarter of the NFL. So
I want to say their
honestly, like
secondary has
us,
been kind of playing well. I want to say
mhm,
their pass defense is a little better than anything else because
mhm.
I know they got Tariq Woolen over there, and he's like up for like defensive rookie
Yeah,
of the year.
I was hearing he's doing pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was hearing that he's doing pretty good. But like I said, I'm sitting up here and I'm looking at we have we had a disadvantage on paper until you look at the rankings and things like that. Because, like I said, our disadvantage on paper was the fact that we were missing a ton of people as far as our offensive line and our starting tight end. But like I said, you get those holes plugged up, especially considering the fact that these guys have an entire week to prepare. Like, all right, listen, you're running with the ones. It's time to get it going. Let's get out there and let's put in exactly what it is that we want to do with you, so you know what the game plan is and everything like that. You're not coming in on the fly and all kinds of stuff like they did against Jacksonville. And even though they did that and they came in and they performed, now you have a week of preparation for you to go out there and perform. So that's it. That's my thoughts on it. I'm a Giants fan through and through. You're not going to get me saying that we're going to lose a game unless we're coming up against, like,
No.
the 07 Patriots right now with the referees in their pocket like they were in Jacksonville. Like I said, I'm not going to pick against the Giants. So I'm saying we're going to win this game. I'm probably going to put it out there 24-21, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the problem, well, not the problem. The main focus of the season for us, really, as far has just been like, it's back to like our TC philosophy. That just bend don't break. Like, and I mean, our worst defensive game of the season probably was. You could probably say it was last week, or maybe if it wasn't the Dallas game, it probably was last week. Was probably one of our worst defensive games. Like, the D line was doing their part. The corners didn't have the best game covering. Fabian Moreau, like, and again, that's why I have him as my name. That guy's been one of our best pickups of the offseason. Not even offseason. Not even offseason. We picked him up like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
He's been one of our biggest pickups, and I just hope he continues trending upwards. We're just getting it done with it's like we'll get down to the 5 yard line, but we won't give up the touchdown. We'll give you 3 points all day. As long as you don't break. That's been like really what's been keeping us afloat in these games. And again, even with the Jaguars game, it just was they were getting down the field, and after a while, it was like you're getting down to the 10, that's great, and then you're getting stopped. And I mean, even like the last play of the game, like everybody
the
went
epitome
crazy.
of the phrase: defend every blade of grass.
That's it. That's it.
Now,
Like we literally.
one thing I have to nitpick something real quick.
Mm,
As far as this season goes, love Julian Love. All right. The one thing, and I'm absolutely ecstatic that his teammates had his back on this play. But the very last play of the game, Julian Love went for the pick and he missed. Had he not had that backup, we lose. Because the moment that he went for the pick, he missed. You had Fabian Moreau, you had Xavier McKinney, you had Landon Collins all there to pick him up. But I'm just like, situational football. You don't need to get a pick right there, right? Knock the ball down or just make the tackle because they don't have any timeouts. You can end this mess right now. And he took a couple years off my life, so I have to actually call him out on that.
yo, like, yo, it was so bad. It was so bad. Oh my gosh. And the thing is, Christian Kirk was going to catch the ball and fade into the end zone. He was going to fall back into the end zone. They would have scored, tied at 23-23, and they would kick probably extra point and won 24-23. Like, and that was like, that it was just so scary because that was like flashbacks, like the PTSD that we have from just not being able to. And it comes back to, again, what we talked about last week: finishing games, the ability to finish is something that we have been lacking for years, and we finally have it. You might not have played your best game, you might have made a lot of mistakes, but when it came down to it at the end, you had the ability to finish the game, and we did. And that's one of the things I'm most happy about. Like you said, everybody. That's what goes back to, like Pop Warner. It goes back to Little League, high school, college. Doesn't matter. Rally to the ball. 11 hats to the ball. Exactly. That's exactly what what happened. He caught the ball. He was fading back, and Fabian Moreau came in and just slammed this dude.
Absolutely stonewalled.
Stonewall, my man. Stopped his whole momentum, like dead in his tracks. And then you had Landon. Then you had Love hopped on. Everybody hopped on. They knew where the goal line was. They looked back and saw the goal line and said, "Oh, nah, you're not about to fight
Mm-hmm.
Fabian off." And 5, 6, 7 dudes just came and slammed this dude. Then the D
Yep.
line ran over and they started grabbing him. Like the
Yep.
O line, their O line tried to help us out. I trying to help him out, and we were like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, nah." And then as
No,
that's
this
going
ain't
down,
happening.
instead of trying to get the time ran out, like
Yep.
it was just like like you said, it made my heart skip like multiple beats. But I was just like, "Oh, thank the Lord!" Like just thank the Lord. Oh man, I just don't know. Like and like going forward is just it's gonna be. I think we'll be all right in Seattle. I think the main thing is we get to the Seattle game and then we believe we have a bye week after that.
Yeah.
So after the bye week,
Houston and
I
Detroit.
hope it doesn't mess us up momentum wise, but at the same time, hopefully it's a chance for like I obviously I'm not expecting all to be back, but if Brunson can get off the mend, we have a lot of people that were out. Even people that are limited in practice today, like Leonard Williams limited again in practice. Hopefully Aziz can take another step towards getting back. KT can get
Aziz was placed on
Tony.
IR, so he's going to be,
Who?
I think, four. Aziz was placed on
Oh
IR.
yeah, Aziz is on IR, yeah. But Tony, hopefully Tony can take a step forward, like get some people healthy. And I know Bellinger is going to be out for it. He said indefinitely.
Mm-hmm.
People are saying they hope it's not the whole season, but we'll see. Neil's supposed to be 3 to 4 weeks with MCL sprain, but like you say, hopefully he can miss a game. The bye week comes back, and then maybe we only miss him for like one more game, and then he's back. Hopefully, that's like
I, I
what we
would
really.
personally, I would personally like to get him back for the Detroit game, so that you get him. Let's say you knock the rust off, if there is any rust. You knock the rust off in that game in preparation for the Dallas game, because that is the next game after that.
I it,
So I'm like, you're leading into Thanksgiving. Like I said, Dallas gave Neil his worst performance of the season, and I don't want that to be the first game he comes back, because it is as mature as you could be at that age or whatever. You're still talking about a young mind who's going to be out there like, you know what, I need to press now. I need to do X, Y, and Z. And coming off an injury, I don't want somebody pressing immediately.
it I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, if you have like that Lions game, you're gonna come back. It's gonna be interesting. You're gonna come back to Hutchinson. That's what I want to
Mm-hmm.
see. Like Neil's gonna come back to Hutch. It's gonna be. I don't know who the other end is, but whether you're gonna have Neil back, hopefully back in the right back at 100%, and Thomas, and see what they do as far as because Hutchinson's been going off since he got to the league. He's had like 2 and 3 sack games.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can slow that guy down, I think that would be good, and it'll be a good confidence booster and win if we can get back. If we can take that one in Detroit, I know Detroit's like 1-5, and they came out. The owner spoke today about still backing Dan Campbell and backing the organization what they're talking about. So it would be nice to get Neil back and, like you said, knock some rust off, get healthy, and gear up for the Dallas game because you're gonna have Dallas coming up, the Eagles
Then
coming up,
Philly,
and
then Washington.
yeah,
Like we run the NFC East gauntlet coming up
right.
after those two games.
So we got all that coming up, and we're definitely gonna need like all hands on deck. Because, like you said, Tyree Phillips stepped in admirably and did what he had to do, but I don't know if I want him starting going down the stretch for us. So,
No, no.
I mean, when you look at
Give me a
this,
swing tackle. I want Evan Neal in there.
oh yeah. We got our right tackle in the future. That's what I want to keep. I don't want to go back to where we were on these consecutive 1 year deals, getting random free agent right tackles and plugging them in. But we had Mike Rimmers that 1 year, and then we had who was the other guy? We had remember Marshall Newhouse. Oh, and we had
Don't
who was the
remind
other
me.
right tackle? Cameron Fleming. Just just going through 1 year deals. Like I don't want to do any of that anymore. Like you said, we got our
Mm-hmm.
two bookend tackles. They're
I
both
would
young.
love for them to stay there.
Yes, yes.
As a matter of fact, like
Now
I
I
said, at
mean,
the end of the season, give Andrew Thomas his extension. Right?
all right. Well, I mean, speaking of extensions and everything, now you look at it like to get back to the comment that we had. Uh, Joey Anthony said just thinks it's funny how they keep talking about trading Saquon, like as far as trading and like extensions. And I think we talked about it before, and a lot of people have been talking about it as far as like on Twitter and Facebook and everything. But what do you do with Saquon? What do you do with Daniel Jones? And a lot of people, surprising to me, a lot of people were saying like, unfortunately, you got to let them both walk after this year. And I'm like, how could you let
I
either of them
don't.
walk?
mm,
Like, and they're talking about like the money situation and everything X Y Z. And I'm just like, you can't let, especially in the way if they continue this upward trend and how they're playing these first 6 or 7 games, you can't let Saquon and and you can't let Daniel Jones walk.
No.
Like there's no way you can let either of those two guys walk this year. So I didn't really understand that. Like they're talking about money and they're saying like, we have to resign Dexter Lawrence, resign this person and that person. I'm like, cool, but you already have, you know, you already like if you take away Saquon and Daniel Jones, you already have that. Let's put it like this: that is the offense. Like that is the offense. You take those two guys away, you don't have an offense. So what are you going to replace those two with? Unless you're going to
Well,
sit there and tell me you're going to draft a quarterback and a running back.
let's clarify one thing for people who keep bringing up Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence had his option picked up, right? So Lawrence and Daniel Jones were drafted the same draft, right? So they had the same rookie contract for the most part, right? Dexter Lawrence got his 5th-year option. Daniel Jones did not. You do not have to extend Dexter Lawrence right now. You can wait until the following offseason. Now, there is a danger in that because he's going to be an unrestricted free agent after that, but you can play around with that's not an immediate concern. So you don't necessarily have to go like, oh man, we got to get Dexter Lawrence signed up. The more
Right.
important one, if you want to talk about the defense, is Julian Love because Julian Love is going to be a free agent, and he doesn't have that option year. He was drafted the same season, but remember, you're not drafted in the first round. You're not getting that 5th-year option. So, like I said, that's the more important one. Dexter Lawrence, like I said, I'm not too worried about it. Although the Vikings are sitting up there looking like, yeah, that's another one we about to take from the Giants
Oh
because they
my
keep doing
gosh.
it.
Uh,
But
like don't say stuff like that. I can't. Oh, do not say stuff like every D tackle the Giants lose goes
yep,
to Minnesota. I don't know why. I don't understand it. Like I
and
do not understand.
this isn't even recent either, because like if I remember correctly, this goes back to like Cornelius Griffin, like back
Yeah.
in like the early
Oh
two
my
thousands.
god.
This man,
Yo, it's like the Vikings or the Raiders.
hmm
Like it's either one of those two. Hit squad in the building. What's good, hit squad? What's up? What up?
what's up? What up,
Another
fam?
another great Giants content creator, guys. Go check out Hit Squad Productions on Twitter. A really good guy. We want to get him on the show. Hopefully, get some talk about some Giants stuff. Hit Squad talking to us about the game. We're going over as far as people that we want. I guess you could say like talk about trade rumors, free agency, all that stuff. So, but yeah, definitely check out his page. Give him a like and a comment, follow all that. But yeah, I don't know what else with the Giants D tackles. I don't know why we either go to the Vikings or we go to the Raiders when we leave the Giants. Or if you're Barry Caulfield. I loved Barry Caulfield. And he betrayed me and he went to the Redskins. I was hurt. I was so hurt by him. Like, that was different. Like, you're gonna leave the Giants, go ahead. Like Linval Joseph, like we let him walk. And I remember what's his name? William Joseph went to the Raiders and Jonathan Hankins went to the
Hankins.
Raiders. Yeah, like whatever. Everybody else went, cool. Barry Caulfield, I remember he used to get a sack and he used to like do the taser
Don't
celebration where
tase
he
me,
get
bro.
tased. Yo, I used to tase himself on the celebration. I used to love him. And then a man showed up on the Redskins and I was just like, you're dead to me.
Yep.
You're dead to me. It was over. Like,
And I know my Giants lore and things like that. The year he went to Washington was the 2011 season, right? So if you remember correctly, Eli threw a pick six in that game. and the pick six was like a wide receiver screen or a hot route or something like that.
Mm.
That one of our offensive linemen was supposed to be cutting the edge. That was Barry Cofield. He told them, like, if they check to this is what's going to happen. And Kevin Gilbride's bum ass saw that we was going to sit up there and face Barry Cofield, somebody who was on our defense the year before, knew all our calls and everything, and just refused to change the terminology. I mean, the season turned out, I guess it turned out okay. But come on.
It's just it was just bad. Like, and I'll tell you, I'm sorry. Like, there's one guy I couldn't forgive him, but I mean, with trade deadlines coming up, I know there's been a lot of names been floated around. Offense and defense league. Cam Akers has been a big name. Bradley Chubb too. I'm surprised because the Broncos are like. I mean, I don't know if I'm probably not happy there, but the Broncos have one of the best defenses in the league. So I was a little surprised by that. The Eagles traded. I don't understand that. Like Eagles traded for Robert Quinn today for a fourth rounder. But I mean, one person that everybody. This is a family show. This is a family show.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's been
You
4 years of you
you
doing
gotta
that.
teach the kids. To let them know how to feel about the Eagles.
It's like the one name that a lot of people have been floating around. Again, we talked about this before we started. Is Jerry Judy, and all I want to do is I'm going to say the name and I'm going to give you the floor because I know you would love to have Jerry in New York. So the
Absolutely.
floor is yours.
Well, first and foremost, as I was explaining to somebody else a couple of days ago, I hate everything about the University of Alabama. All right. But there are three names that came out of Alabama that I would absolutely have loved to have with the New York Giants. One of them is our starting right tackle right now, and that's Evan Neal. The other two were Amari Cooper and Jerry Judy. All right. Cooper ain't happening. Jerry Judy, very much available, and we have a very, very big need at wide receiver. Now, I was listening earlier to Carl Banks. He was on Tiki and Tierney earlier, and he was giving his thoughts and everything like that. And like the things that he was saying, he was just like, "Yeah, you have capital, not necessarily, not necessarily just money, but you spent a first round pick on Kadarius Toney. You have $72 to $76 million tied up in Kenny Galladay. In theory, or whatever, you can't really justify going after a wide receiver when you have that much tied up into it. In my mind, yeah, you can, because you can't sit up here like they were saying earlier, talking about trading Barkley. The people that are talking about trading Barkley are talking about thinking about the future. You don't think about the future when you're 6-1. All right.
Nope.
No, you do everything to maximize right now. Because right at this moment, unless, and I'm not trying to put this in the universe, knocking on my wood right now, all right, unless this team over the last, unless this team over the last 10 games goes 0-10, you have played yourself out of a quarterback. You're not getting Will Levis. You're not getting CJ Stroud. You're not getting Bryce Young or any of these guys that are up here. Your best bet is Anthony Washington, and I don't trust him.
Richardson.
Anthony Richardson. Exactly. That's how bad I don't trust him because I can't even say his name right.
Guys, rant. You gotta calm down with the rants, man.
So I'm sitting up here and I'm looking at this situation like, give this man. I like for 4 years, not for 4 years. Let's say for 3 years, because in his rookie season, it wasn't, let's see what he's got. All right. At least not to, in that context. All right. For the last 3 years, it has been, we need to see what we have in Daniel Jones. All right. Right now, you have a quarterback that is 6-1 with receivers that should be out here working for Stop and Shop.
What is wrong with you?
I'm angry. That's what's wrong with me.
You're 6-1. You're angry.
Yes.
Jesus.
because our previous GM set us up for failure, and our current regime is out there making chicken salad with dog food. Like, and I'm just thinking to myself the possibilities of, even though, like I said, we're sitting at 6-1, what could be? Like,
Oh my gosh. For real, for real. Oh,
but
for
yeah,
real, for
like I
real.
said, that's my main focus right now. The whole thing about Cam Akers, like I'm a Florida State fan. I would love to see him in the uniform, but we went out and spent money on Matt Breida. You also have Saquon Barkley, who needs to come back to the Giants next year, whether that be through an extension, whether that be through a franchise tag, whatever it is. If you got to give this guy a car, if you got to give him a personal driver, I don't care.
Those
All right,
stake in the franchise, man.
give that man, like
I'm
John
telling
Mara,
you.
go over there and be like, listen, I want to give you half, like, this type of ownership in the franchise is going to be Mara, Tish, and Barkley. All
I'm
right,
telling you. I'm telling you. Do what you have to do to keep that
do
man
whatever
in
you
blue
have to
for
do
life.
to keep this man in Giants blue. All right.
My man's up here with on some redemption season, 726 yards rushing, second in the league with no offense to speak of.
Nope.
Like
Like
another
they
hundred.
know they
Like
know it's coming, and they can't stop it.
yo,
That is the type of energy that he's on right now.
God forbid you had receivers that could do their part. Like
Mm-hmm.
God forbid, because you still have teams stacking the box, and the guy still continues to make it happen. Like I don't remember the last time we've seen a 100-yard rusher at quarterback and running back. I don't remember.
It's been lots and lots of years. I want to say, I think the last time they said it happened was either 40 years ago or back in the 1940s. One of the two.
Yo, what I've never like this guy had 200 yards passing, took care of the ball, was again bootlegs, play actions, pulling the ball, RPOs. Saquon not dancing, but just reading it right, like reading plays right, reading his blocks, setting up blocks, running, breaking out of arm tackle, stuff that we've seen Saquon like. Yo, man, how are you getting like? Why are you getting shoestring tackle? Like
And
you
and,
like
and let's
you
let's
have
not forget let's not forget that both of them are still technically injured too.
like like oh my gosh, just God
Thank you,
forbid,
Hit Squad. That's what I was saying. Like it's
right?
1943 was the last time it happened.
Like 1943, the last time you had a 100-yard rusher at quarterback and running back. Like that's the offense. Two people are the offense. It was three, and Belly got hurt. Two people are the offense, man. Like freaking KT over, freaking Kadarius Tony's over here with a bum hamstring and hurts the other hamstring, trying to nurse the other one back to health.
Mm-hmm.
Like Kenny Galladay's over here getting hurt, getting tattoos. I don't know what else he's doing. How else are you getting hurt because you're not playing? Like
I know how he got hurt. Like, granted, I'm like I said, I'm not gonna get on him about the injury because he was out there giving it his all. It was legitimately the MetLife turf got him. Thankfully, for his sake,
oh
it wasn't a
god,
torn ACL and it was a sprained MCL, like Andrew Thomas, not Andrew Thomas, like Evan Neal got.
Evan Neal. Like, come on,
Knock
man.
on that wood again because I spoke something into existence. I'm not trying to have that.
You guys heard it here first. If something happens, it's his fault.
Listen, I
It's
knocked on the wood. All right.
it's so
Y'all
I
see
just
all
don't
this in the background. All of that's wood.
all that
I'm
wood
knocking on this wood.
paneling.
Yes.
That's why I just don't understand. I'm like, y'all sitting up here talking about like, yo, let's trade Saquon while he's hot. Let's trade Daniel while he's having like, and then what? Go over the rest of the season because that's what's
Mm-hmm.
gonna happen. And then we're still gonna, like you said, go 6-10. And in typical Giant fashion, we're gonna be number 6, and Stroud and Bryce are gonna go 4-5. We're gonna be sitting here
Yep.
like idiots, like uh let's take Jameer Gibbs. Like, well, come on. Like, this is what happens with the Giants. This is what we do. Like, yo, people, it's so bad. It's almost like we're not used to winning right now. So we're like self sabotaging ourselves. Like, yo, like let's just we won 6 games this year. Let's just move on. Let's go. Let's be okay with it. Like, no. We won 6 games. Be okay with just want to win more. Like that's what killed me. I'm like, yo, what are you? And what killed me too was when they put up that picture. Did you see that picture of when they were talking about the trade compensation for Saquon? Well, it was like a fifth rounder and
No.
Zach Moss. Like that's all Saquon Barkley's
Yeah,
like.
yeah. In what
And
universe?
then you sit up here and watch CMC get traded for like seconds and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, oh, you thought we were going to give up Saquon for
Oh,
a
what?
fifth? A fifth?
When
Come
this
on.
man is top 3 right now in rushing in the league? Not even.
Like, come on, a fifth? Highly disrespectful. Highly disrespectful, though. I
Yeah,
just
man.
I don't understand. I don't understand some of these Giants fans. I truly do not understand it.
Mm-hmm.
I truly don't. But like getting back to when we were on like 12 different tangents.
Yeah.
Um, I would
Glad
love
we
to
want to
see the
get
team
together.
add somebody. I'd love to see the team add somebody via, I mean, trade or whatever else. You know, I know there are a couple other names that were floated out there. Real quick, I jotted down was DJ Moore. I think people were saying his numbers a
That's a
little too
problem.
high.
That's a problem.
To
His number,
some
I
people were
believe,
saying,
next year is like in the 20s.
from what I saw, it was like he's only making like 850 to 900K this year. But then I
Mm-hmm.
saw, I believe it was next year, he's making like 10 to 12 mil or something like that next year.
I had heard his cap number is like in excess of like 2025. So I'm
Yeah.
like,
So I'm like, you got DJ Moore they listed. I remember there was the whole talk of Terrace Marshall for a while.
mhm.
I would take a swing on I'd take a flyer on him for like, but it had to be for like a fifth rounder. Like I'm not getting that
Yeah.
crazy. Like I've barely seen Terrace Marshall on the field.
Mhm.
So I'd have to go like fifth, sixth rounder for Terrace if we did that. Again, we already addressed Judy. Um Elijah Moore threw like a bitch fit for like a week. Now he's back. I mean, shoot. People were like, "Would you do
His
KT for Elijah
plateau.
Moore?" It's like, well, shoot. It's like Elijah got two working hamstrings. Shoot, I might mess around and do it. I mean, like I said, the other ones it was again Cam Makers and Bradley Chubb, and like you said, we're not trading for Cam, and we got Saquon, we got Breida, and they like Brightwell. They be getting him for carries.
Yeah.
So, and then again, we're definitely not trading for Bradley Chubb. So,
No. Like I
and
said,
I'm
unless they want to sit up there and be like, hey, yeah, Bradley Chubb, 6th round pick. I would love that.
right. I'll take that, and
Yeah.
and we pay his salary. Yeah, I'll take that all day.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do that. But other than that, you keep going to the draft. I've already listen. You know how I get. I've already started looking at draft prospects.
Oh, of course.
Like
I'm pretty sure
I've
you was
already
looking
been
at him
looking
last
at
year for next year.
it. Yeah, like, and I mean, it's not like I'm not sitting up here looking as far as we're going to be top 5, top 10. I'm just looking to get a good idea because one thing that I really want to see from us going forward, and what really killed us as far as I know, Darian Beavers tearing his ACL because I think he was slated to start, but
Yep.
I need linebackers. I need impact linebackers. Tate Crowder is just too inconsistent for me. Like, and he's just small. He gets eaten up on the inside. So I need impact linebackers going. That's why I really want to get in the draft. Like I want to find somebody. I want the Giants to find somebody. There's no Micah Parsons in this draft, unfortunately. And
Mm-hmm.
if he was, we wouldn't get him anyway, probably. Because, but that's just what I want. Like I want impact linebacker. I hope somebody's gonna step in and just change and just be flying on the field. That's what I want. And like I said, Tate Crowder's a nice depth piece, rotational. He could be somebody to offset, like whatever. Like, but that's something else I want to. I want to. Even I don't know if there's anybody really out there we worth trying to trade for right now. Something I was going to look into earlier. There's somebody who can find maybe a younger linebacker that I don't want to. I don't even want to talk about like a Roquan. Probably going to cost too much.
Yeah.
Like, but I want somebody. I want somebody that's going to step in and and be like another leader on that defense and somebody that can play the run, somebody that's gonna take on the block and check block, somebody's gonna drop in the cover. I need a complete linebacker. We haven't
Mhm.
had that forever. And that's something that I really want us to get. I don't know who's even out there right now. I gotta do some more homework on it, but that is one thing that I'd like to see going forward. But yeah, man, that's really the show for me. I mean, if you got anything else you want to discuss?
Um, nah, not really.
So
Other
I
than the
think,
fact that, like I said, I want the team to actually like this is around the time on like the heel heat that I would say something really smart ass. But like I'm not even gonna go that route. I'm really just hoping that this team heals up. Like we get through this week. Like I'm not going like I said before, I do not pick against the Giants. I do not care what the situation is. Like I cannot pick against my team. So I'm going in saying we're gonna win this game. But you come out there, you perform well, and you come up short, and we go into the bye week 6-2. It's not the worst thing in the world. All right.
no.
Most people were sitting up there looking at the schedule. It was just like if the Giants get through this 4 game stretch at 3-1, that needs to be taken as a huge W. So you're sitting up there, you leading into Dallas game at 8-2. Beautiful. All right. Right now, like we're sitting up here, we got one of the games out of the way with Jacksonville. That's how it just need us to get through this game, get healthier during the bye week. And then again, hopefully over that bye week, you get a situation where these two, and you know exactly who I'm talking about, get their heads screwed on straight and get out there and start helping this team win.
Oh, oh, I
Yeah.
definitely forgot. Definitely forgot. Gotta talk about this. Gotta talk about our boy Nick Gates coming back.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to throw a flag on me for roughing the passer real quick.
Nonsense.
Yeah.
Come on. That was uncalled for. That was that was totally uncalled for. Oh my
I mean,
god.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like,
Anyway, just had to talk about with everything coming back, and I just popped back in my head because I saw a tweet earlier that I actually screenshotted. It was Matt Pert, Ellison Smith, and Roto or Darius Williams are um
all back practicing.
they're all back.
They love
Yeah,
to see.
they're all back. I I can tell you, I think I've seen Ellison Smith on the field maybe twice since he's been
Mhm.
drafted. Like I have not seen Ellison Smith for the life of me.
I mean,
So
I've seen him, and he hasn't made much of an impact. Like, granted, you're talking about him in a system that may not have been, to his actual strengths and everything, because Patrick Graham's system was so bend but don't break. Let's
yeah,
see how he looks with Wink before you write him. Before me and my mind are gonna write him off. Let me see how he looks with Wink.
right. Yeah. I mean, like I'm not gonna write him off. I think he'll be. I hope he could give us something because I was all but Dumbo on O'Shea Zimenez, and now he wants to play like freaking Reggie White.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that would be nice. Maybe we can get something out of Ellerson or Darius Williams. Darius Williams was playing pretty solid until he got hurt. So I mean
Mm-hmm.
it'd be nice to see something out of Darius Williams. I mean he's still coming off the ACL, so that'd be nice if he comes back and he does anything. Matt Pert, I mean, be a nice backup swing tackle. But I mean, of course, like the news that we all are like, all of us read it, we saw it. Nick Gates is back, officially activated,
Yes, sir.
53-man roster, back practicing after the incident or accident that required multiple surgeries. Didn't know if he was going to play again, let alone even walk again. Matt Pert is back on the field practicing, and I was damn near moved to tears. I am so happy that man is back. Not even from just a football standpoint, but just from a life standpoint. You
Yeah.
got your leg back, you're walking again. Like that alone is a blessing. Like, And I know that dude is just like, yo, I'm back. I'm ready to kick some ass. Like, let's do it.
Yep.
And whether that dude can slot in at a left guard spot or he can slot in at the center spot, whether it be this year for Feliciano or Feliciano moves on, and he slots in that center spot, whatever it may have to be, that dude, like, I'm just happy he's back on the field. And
Mm-hmm.
I think he can be we all know he could be a huge upgrade. A huge upgrade for that offensive line if he can get healthy and get back to playing the way he was before the injury.
Yep. And the thing about it was, he was moved literally all over the offensive line, so he knows how to play. I think the only one he doesn't know how to play is left tackle. And I mean, there's a pretty decent guy that's over there at left tackle right now, so I'm not too sure he's going to need to cover over there.
I mean,
But
solid. Okay.
it's solid, yeah, just the best left tackle in the NFL.
No big deal. No
But
big
no
deal.
big deal. But like I said, he has the ability to legitimately, even if he's not starting, to come in and either spell for an injury, to come in and play that jumbo package and be that extra lineman out there. And again, anyone, and I mean absolutely anyone who goes up against Aaron Donald and is man enough to fight this dude,
Yo,
I want
pissed
that man
Aaron
on
Donald
my
off.
offensive line, yo.
Pissed Aaron Donald off to the point Aaron Donald was trying to fight him and then was laughing in Aaron Donald's face, not getting double teamed. 1-on-1. You're
Mm-hmm.
manhandling Aaron Donald to the point he gets mad and rips your helmet off and is ready to fight you. I want that dude on my team.
Yo, he was one of the ones like the entire there's no excuses given to the Joe Judge regime. All right, when he went down last year, that deflated the entire offensive line, even more so than it
Locker
already
room.
was. Yeah, the whole locker room, everybody loved this dude, and to see him get back, not only sitting up there working through 7 surgeries on this leg, all right, getting himself back to the point where my man can just walk is enough. But the
Yes.
man is back on the field,
Yes.
tugging at my heartstrings right now, man.
Yo, I'm saying, like,
And I'm ready to see. I don't know if he's going to suit up this week, but when he does suit up, oh, I'm gonna be at the edge of my seat. I'm gonna be at the
yo,
edge of my seat, and it's crazy. Me as a football fan is sitting up here, and I'm like, I cannot wait to see this offensive lineman go out there and get back on the field. But that's how I am with Nick Gates, yo. That's how I am with Nick Gates.
but you know what's gonna happen. You know they're gonna stop the whole game. It's gonna be Nick Gates. Like unless they start him, unless they say like they start him at the left guard, it doesn't matter. As soon as the crowd recognizes that Nick Gates is trotting onto the field to go to the line,
Bruh, my bad to cut you off. Do not put him in this game. Save that mess for when we come back and play Houston.
I could dig that.
Yeah, save it
I,
for when we come back and play Houston.
I could dig that because if he comes back home, just seeing him jog out the tunnel, fans are
Yep.
gonna lose it. Lose
Mm-hmm.
it. Seeing him, anything he does, fans are gonna lose it. He's gonna be stretching, warming up, all that. Fans are gonna lose it.
And
And
you know Dable has they haven't been coming out specifically and just solely as a team. They've been doing player introductions. Let it happen. Introduce the offense the day that he comes back. Let
yo,
that
my
man get
man,
his name called.
that dude's gonna the moment he touches the field to go into the game, like if we don't win that game off of that alone, like, like just him running out on the field, and everybody's gonna be like, "Oh shit!" Like the fans are gonna be in it, in it. He starts blocking somebody. He gets a pancake. He gets up next. Oh man, it's just gonna be a day. It's gonna be a
don't don't
day.
don't let a cornerback or something like that be on the play. Oh, see, there it is right there. Derek Stingley is going to be on a corner blitz
on his play where Saquon is running and he's pulling.
That man's gonna be trying to take somebody's life.
He go play. He go block
Yeah.
this man from East Rutherford to Buffalo.
Oh my gosh! I'll tell you, that was just that. Seeing that news just like it made like a whole week. Like, yo, my man is back on the field, practicing, getting ready to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
You love to see it.
yeah, for real.
You'll love to see it.
I think we got to end it on that note today.
Yeah, man. Because I don't think you can get any better than that. The only thing
Nah.
we can get better than that is if we get a Twitter notification from Adam Schefter, and it's funny because a notification just popped up on the phone as I was saying that, but it was Bad Dog. But it's just, like I said, it'd be real funny if we got a notification in the middle of this that Jerry Jeudy just got traded to the Giants.
Oh my god! Oh my god! For like a fifth, I would lose my
Yes.
mind.
Give it to me.
Make it happen, Shane. Make it happen. Oh my gosh. Guys, thanks for watching another episode of the Nosebleed Section. I am your host as always. It's been a great show. It's been a lot of fun. You know the spiel. Like, comment, share, follow on Facebook or on Instagram. I'm always tweeting outrageous crap during Giants games. Come follow me. Just we love to have a good time. We love to talk Giants. Anything you missed, anything you want to talk about, let us know. But again, and please, if you can, go to YouTube, subscribe, give us a like. If you give us a dislike, I don't know, interact with us. Let us know what you think.
Dislikes don't even count anymore.
I know, but whatever. Let us know what you didn't like. We'll try to comment. We'll try to come back better next time. That's all. Still
Or
work
not.
in progress. Or not. We might get like he did gave a finger before, might get a middle finger. But everybody have a great night. Stay safe, stay blessed, and go Giants.
Down with the Eagles.
That too.